obviously something in the air. First Dad and now Mom.
Well, I mean, I think we both know what it is, Megan. I just don't think we can get them to admit it.
Damn it, Sarah, will you stop with this theory of yours? I am telling you, it is impossible that I am Viki Buchanan's daughter. My God, every time we cross paths, it's a knock-down, drag-out fight.
Big deal. You're always fighting with Mom, too.
She's my mother, Sarah. It's different. Oh, Viki Buchanan and I just hate each other.
What, are you going to tell me that you didn't see how upset and flustered Mom got when I confronted her with Clint's theory? I mean, if it wasn't true, then why couldn't she answer our questions?
I'm not getting through to you, am I? You're not going to give up on this issue.
No, I'm not. Because I'm afraid it's the only logical conclusion. One of us is Vicky's daughter.
Fine. You believe what you want if it makes you happy. But as far as I am concerned, Sarah, I am a Gordon. First, last, and always.
Portion of your success to the public, you should accommodate the press.
The working press, yes, not some rank amateur.
I find your arrogance rather hard to believe.
And I can't believe your blind spot when it comes to Christine Cromwell.
Tell me something. How is it possible that your sister is so nice, and you, on the other hand, are, well, quite the opposite?
Yes, it's true that Sarah and I are very different. She bends over backwards to see the good in people. She must have had to do backflips when it comes to you.
I've dealt with some fairly impossible people over the years, Megan. But you're about as stubborn, willful, and totally unwilling to admit that you're wrong as anyone I've ever met.
And so are you. But we both know why, don't we, Mrs. Buchanan? You're defending that lousy photographer not because she's on your staff, but because she's your daughter. It's nepotism, pure and simple.
You see, my father knew your father years ago and obviously thought well enough of him to set him up in business. Your father's never mentioned that to you, or the fact that he knew me way back then?
Is there a point to all of these questions, Viki, or are you just enjoying prying into other people's lives?
I'm not prying.
Well, this certainly is an idle party conversation.
Or perhaps the questions got a bit too personal, but that's because they're very important to me.
Well, if they're so important to you, then why don't you ask my father?
I have asked your father. He won't answer me.
Maybe that's because it's none of your business.
Yes, it most certainly is my business if it affects me.
I'm sorry, but I hate to pop your bubble, but there are things that go on in this world that have nothing to do with Viki Buchanan. And the sooner that you learn that, the better off we'll all be. In the meantime, please don't bother me with your problems.
Oh, no. You don't walk away from me, young lady, until I straighten out this little attitude problem of yours once and for all.
No, you're not. My heart tells me what's true. While you were describing our first meeting on the mountain, parts of it were all coming back to me. It's a bit shaky, but I know that it's true. Finally, I have the truth. Oh, God, thank you. Thank you, Roger. You were the young man that I loved. And Sarah is my daughter.
Viki, I'm afraid you're still jumping to conclusions.
Why am I jumping to conclusions? We have a child.
Well, you assume the child was Sarah. She's younger than my other daughter, remember?
Megan? Megan is my daughter?
Our daughter.
Megan?
Megan. A year after I lost you, I met someone who helped me heal my wounds. See, Carrie was tender and understanding, and together we began to build a family of our own with Megan and 2 children of our own, Sarah and Anna, who, as you know, passed away. I've always loved all my children deeply, but I suppose I've always had a special place in my heart for Megan.
Oh, Roger, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me for assuming what I assume. It's just that Sarah and I have become very close, and she and I seem in many ways to be alike.
Well, in case you hadn't noticed it, you and Megan are also alike in different ways.
You're right. I haven't noticed it. Every time Megan and I are together, we argue.
Well, doesn't that tell you something? You and Megan are both fiercely independent.
Independent? It's all right, you can say it. Stubborn as mules.
I prefer to see you as two thoroughbreds with your eyes on the same finish line.
Well, that's a nicer image, thank you. Megan. She's so flamboyant. She's so theatrical. I'm not at all like that.
You didn't get to be one of the leading newspaper publishers in this country by hiding your light under a basket. Now, maybe Megan is that theatrical side of you.
Oh, well, yes, I suppose that's possible.
And you know something else? You both stand up for what you believe in, no matter the risks.
Yes, and she's certainly made quite a career for herself in a very competitive field. That's something to be very proud of.
And you know what makes me even prouder? Despite the demands of her acting career and all the hype that goes with it, she cares about people, just like her mother.
It seems I have a great deal to learn about my daughter.